Mr. Speaker, a parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
I'm too far left. Some people call me commie. A Democrat in Texas is hard to be. But I pass bills and kill some policy. 'Cause Speaker Dade has put his trust in me.
Sit there. I've been a good soldier to him.
He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, my bill's his priority. I am strong when I stand on his short shoulders. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be. He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, put me on his dream team. I am a soldier in Daddy Dave's army. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be. I'm so much more than I should be.
Hello, everybody. Oh, God. It's a good song. Is it? What is it, though? I had therapy today. Your therapist made you take a personality test? You got this. I bet you'll pass. Can you share that, please? Yeah. Yeah, I can. I just... I can't. I can't, man. Here you go. Here's the isolated video. Oh, God. I believe what you're seeing is Luke Macias, Texas conservative. I can't believe it, dude.
Welcome to the Luke Macias Show. Here's the deal. I wrote another song. I know many of you have been demanding one, asking for one kindly. And so I have. We'll get to that in a minute. We're also going to talk about all the money that is flowing in to try to save a lot of bad Republican incumbents. I've been talking about this for the last couple months, but now that reports have come out, we have some numbers, which I will go.
Who's been demanding this? Who demanded this song? But chat, I don't know why this song exists. But I do know that for every 2 subs, I will play that song this stream. Anyway, I make that promise to you, and I feel like I might regret it. I feel like I might regret it. But I pledge to you that I will play that song every 2 subs. So I donate 20 subs. Do I get it 10 times in a row? Or do I get 10 uses? You get 10 times in a row. Alternatively, I am willing to say this offer is only good for this stream today, okay? The offer is only good for this stream. So if you want to turn it into uses, you certainly can, but they are confined to this stream. I'm not handing you guys a pile of artillery shells to use on me on some other stream. Anyway, I will be keeping track of who has how many uses if that's how you want to play it. Why, Jack? We're nice? You are nice. But you know, I do still owe you Gordos. That's true. Are you suggesting I might do that? I don't know. I don't know. Can we sub against? No. You're defenseless against this onslaught. And we do have some serious stories to cover tonight, but outside of that window, I'll be good. Just play consecutively. Ah, all right. Did you see the DM? I did not. Today has been the first day where I wasn't working all day prior to stream, so I played a Konosuba visual novel. Is it new Jack Dominatrix arc? Who is this guy?
Who is this guy? Tell me about him over the song.
Alright, so this guy is Luke Macias. He is basically a low-tier conservative talking head. And he makes parody songs taking aim at Democrats from his conservative point of view.
Mr. Speaker, a parliamentary inquiry.
Hello, Megalodon.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
Thank you for the $10 dono, Nine-Tailed Witch. We're gonna know all the words to this song by the end of tonight.
Left. Some people call me commie. A Democrat in Texas is hard to be.
It's really nice that they put the words on the screen.
Bills and kill some policy. 'Cause Speaker Dade has put his trust in me.
Sit there. I've been a good.
I'll answer that, Megalodon, after the stream. After the song. Is this asshole in Texas? Yes. And he wants you all to know he is married and has children, so he has had sex. As incredible as that might seem.
When I stand on his short shoulders,
hey, Stardust Bun.
Raise me up. I'm more than I should be. He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, put me on his dream team.
Man, conservatives are the cringiest motherfuckers.
In Daddy Dave's army. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be. I'm so much more.
Daddy Dade.
Much more than I should.
Like, this is about, like, Texas lawmakers that he doesn't like. Is the singer gay? No, he's a straight Republican man. So 50-50 chance, I guess. When did I identify as bisexual? I identified as my asshole inclination is just say I identified bisexual after I fucked your mom and dad, but that's really uncalled for. You're new in chat. So instead, I'll give you the serious answer, which is just like, I don't know. I didn't really acknowledge that part of myself until I was in my 20s. Okay, what? Do you identify as a fan of Ween? I don't know what that means. Jake Hudson, thank you for liking the YouTube stream and sharing it on social media. You've already gone above and beyond what most chatters do. Is Ween a band? You fucked a frickin' shark? All 30 feet of both of them. The more feet, the better? Question mark. I'm silly. I'm silly today. Is Ween an instrument? Is it at all related to the weenus? Is it related to a weenus? All right. Ween is a band? You mean it's not just the second part of Hollow, Ween? Yeah, Megalodon, they only eat their mate if their mate isn't cool enough. It's true. It's true. I was too cool. She didn't want to eat me. After we'd spent 30 days and 40 nights scissoring together, she didn't want to eat me. Eat the mates! Hey, Kevin FM. We just killed an awful bill through the power of pressure, and by that I mean harassing the Republicans to get them to cut the bill out. Hell yeah. Let's go. All right. Also, if I look like dog shit today, frankly, it's because I've not gotten a lot of sleep the last few days. And I spent most of today being sick, playing video games, and being asleep. And honestly, that fucked. That was great. 10 out of 10. Would recommend that. You look so... Look, I wasn't fishing for compliments. I will, of course, accept them. But, yeah, like, the last, like, couple months, I've had to work through being sick, like, both during the day and during stream, and that has sucked. So it was nice to have a day where I'm, like, luxuriously able to get the rest my body needs to function. Whew. All right. So, gonna hydrate myself a little bit. You know, I don't mind being low levels of sick where you can be like, oh no, I'm a little snotty. Time for me to stay home from work and just relax. That's a good kind of sick. Every other kind of sick is terrible. Terrible. Can we still get Riverboat Jack hoodies? I believe you can. Just use merch, I believe. Exclamation point merch in chat. Get a link to the Fourth Wall store. If they're not available on there, let me know, and I'll get a new design up. Forthwith. Post-haste. I need to get a new one. The print faded after I wore it like nonstop for like 4 years, so like yeah. Need to get a fancy schmancy newer one. But yeah, you can get like mugs, you can get a few of the Peepo art prints that we've made for charity on there. And you can get like sweatshirts and t-shirts and stuff. All right. Why are you blonde on your merch? Because I haven't always been a redhead, and I never got the artist to update it, so it's still blonde. But you know what? At some point, I'm sure I'll dye my hair like blonde, and I'll be like that again. Okay. And then I'll just let it grow out, and it'll be a slightly less lustrous blonde. What? Jack? Stolen Valor? What? Guys, I talk about getting it color. Like, it's not a secret. Also, like, my natural hair color is, like, blonde tinged with, like, red undertones. It's basically, I just took the undertone of my hair and used it for the main tone. I'm joking, I knew. God damn it. Jack never knew it was just never knew it was blonde. Oh no. Dig up an old shot. Yeah, it was a good I think it was a good move for me to go redhead. Dig up an old shot. I think I could do that. I think a good example would probably be here. Oh, that doesn't help. That doesn't help at all. God damn it. Beep boop boop boop. Yeah. I could show that on stream. That's fine. Okay. This is what my old hair color used to be. Kind of like a dirty, blonde, red situation, okay? And now it's red, okay? Like that's how that works. Cursed Jack? Yes, cursed with testosterone. Anyway, follow me on Twitter. I like this Jack better as well. A lot less repressed depression and sadness. My pansexuality has been reaffirmed. You'll never get me to use the Nazi app? That's okay. You don't have to. That's one hell of a before and after picture. Right? I've been doing my best with what I got, okay? And I know I've like mentioned Taftage on my channel before, but like God, what a bitch. What a bitch of a content creator. If any of you are familiar with her, For background, she was like trying to spread the idea that if you're just on HRT, nothing will happen for your body. What did Taftage do now? Basically, she was trying to tell people that, like, fat is disgusting on trans women, and if you have any body fat as a trans woman, you're disgusting. And people think you're gross. Which is just not true. And like someone was like, but what if you take HRT? What doesn't HRT do stuff with the weight? And she was like, nah, everyone just thinks you're disgusting. It's gross. That she's a gross person.
I completed the first part of me quest from my endocrinologist.
Congratulations, Catalina Gearbox. And thank you for the $5 dono. Oh, so we gatekeeping? Kinda. Is fat different on trans people? It's different insofar as, like, HRT, kickstarts a second puberty, right? So that moves fat around your body. Now, the degree to which that moves fat around your body varies from person to person, just like it does from person to person in, like, a normal puberty the first time around, right? And, essentially, there is also, like, the muscle changes, and I think this is more profound maybe on average for trans women, specifically because trans women go from having, like, more muscle to less muscle, and that can make it hard for trans women to manage their weight as they transition, essentially. Yeah. So weight issues for trans folk are very real. I have an HRT question. Will the fat go to my thighs and ass because I already got that issue pre-HRT? I mean, probably. The best way to gauge it, honestly, is to look at, like, how did going through puberty affect, like, your parents or your siblings, you know? Aren't weight issues generally part of anything that causes a hormonal shift? Yes. The difference, I think, is that the weight issues just aren't from just, like, how your body's metabolism is kind of progressing through, like, the hormonal shifts. It's also due to, like, the amount of muscle in your body just, like, absolutely shits the bed if you're on HRT as a trans lady. Like, it just, your body muscle goes way down, and as a result, like, if you don't change your eating habits, like, it can, like, weight can become something that is difficult to handle, you know? Yeah, and, like, it really depends from person to person. I can't tell you, yes, all of the weight will go to your thighs, because that's just not how that goes. Hey, Todd Pemper. Sadly, I know of Taftage. Yeah, very disappointing. Dragovitri Cordis, welcome! Considering my mom and sister are both sticks, who I wish would eat more, hard to tell. Knowing my grandma, though, I think my prediction of fat redistribution will be what I thought. So, yeah, it depends, yeah. But anyway, the reason I brought all this up in the first place was just, like, I got huge breasts. I haven't had any other work done on me, and, like, I'm not like a small lady when it comes to, like, weight. But that doesn't mean my transition was bad. I think a lot of people are incredibly attracted to me. Even if I don't understand that, I recognize that a lot of people are, you know? She's just jelly. Taftage has a lot of like, image issues, I think. It's not uncommon for trans people. All right. So, let's kick stream off. Remember to hit the like button, remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, do the buttons. You're quite attractive, not gonna lie, you're just not your own type. Thursday Roman, I like that framing. I think for a lot of trans folks, so much of our own thought processes are just in therapy, and like improving them and like feeling better about ourselves is just reframing things. I think I like that. I'm gonna steal it from my brain. All right. With that, let's take a look here. What do we got? Yeah. So, Jack is an ass person. I mean, I have a big ass and I have a big rack. Ugh. My nose is itchy. Why is it itchy? It's weird. All right. Doing it for real. Doing it live. So, folks, there have been a lot of developments in this Fani Willis case down in Georgia when it comes to prosecuting Donald Trump. One of the main roadblocks has been that Fani Willis was accused of having a sexual relationship with one of the lead lawyers on the prosecution, who she appointed there. And that is essentially, like, put the trial on hold to, like, try and root out if there are conflicts of interest, essentially. But 2 days ago, there was kind of a bombshell dropped, and I know that there's been so much news that it's kind of gone overlooked, but I really wanted to talk about it a little bit. This is from the Washington Post. Star witness testifies his claims about Fani Willis were only speculation. So basically, the main testimony of that this entire like holdup is based on is not actually like a witness per se, but just like a guy who made assumptions. Let's take a look here. A lawyer billed as the star witness in the case to disqualify Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis testified Tuesday that it was mere speculation when he told the defense attorney that Willis began a romantic relationship in 2019 with the outside lawyer she appointed to lead the case against Donald Trump, years earlier than Willis has publicly acknowledged. Terrence Bradley, a former law partner of Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, repeatedly testified under oath that he did not know when the relationship between Willis and Wade started and could not remember the date of when he learned about it from Wade, frustrating defense attorneys who had claimed his testimony would refute claims by Willis and Wade that their romantic relationship began months after Wade was appointed to manage the Trump case. I do not have knowledge of it starting or when it started, Bradley testified Tuesday. I never witnessed anything, so you know, it was speculation.
I made all of things I need to do into a quest. It's more fun and exciting that way.
That is true. It is fun to just frame things as a quest. It's also fun to like theme your outfits as if you're going on a quest. I feel like that's also more fun, and you can tap into like a little bit more creativity that way. But yeah, no, this guy was the basis for all of this holdup, and shockingly, when he actually was under oath, he didn't know shit about shit and was just guessing. insane, crazy stuff. So, yeah, basically the Trump team has been trying to remove Fani Willis from the case and delay the case the court proceedings. And yeah, pretty interesting that it was almost entirely fabricated, I guess. Or rather entirely fabricated, considering their witness says, quote, "I never witnessed anything." My God. So, that's fun. But, ding, 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 we got 2 more subs. Let's go. Thank you, Catalina Gearbox, for that $5 dono. It's time for us to learn what Luke Macias has to say about Texas politics.
Mr. Speaker, a parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
I'm too far left.
This is what they got, guys.
Some people call me commie. A Democrat in Texas is hard to be. But I pass bills and kill some policy. 'Cause Speaker Dade has put his trust in me.
Sit there. I've been a good soldier to him.
He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, my bill's his priority. I am strong when I stand on his short shoulders. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be.
He raised me up, set me chair a committee. He raised me up, put me on his dream team.
I am a soldier in Daddy Dade's army. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be. I'm so much more than I should be.
That is conservative activist Luke Macias. Thank you so much for your musical rendition. The true version of that song, really. All right, folks. Got to talk about some more serious business, okay? But just remember, every 2 subs / $10 donode, we'll play that song. I feel empowered now? Good. What a bottom. All right. So, basically, remember we covered the Democratic primary a few nights ago in Michigan. And essentially what we saw unfold throughout the night were people putting in protest votes by checking or voting for uncommitted. Essentially, in Michigan, every Democratic primary for the presidency, there's around 20,000 uncommitted votes. the final total was over 100,000 uncommitted votes. These are protest votes specifically about Joe Biden's position on the Gazan genocide that is happening right now. And this sends a very powerful message, okay? Essentially, the premise here is that Democrats pay attention to voters, specifically voters that are likely to vote for them. And they take a look at who's likely to vote for them by looking at the people who participate in the primary. Those are the most likely voters. And so campaign strategists, campaign managers, they pay attention to the results of these primaries to make adjustments in messaging, which states they need to focus on for ads, etc., visiting, press tours, the like. And not only that, but when we're talking about someone who's a sitting president of the United States during an election year, pressure like this can also be used to change policy. And what I thought would be very interesting, because again, the low estimate I gave you guys was like 70,000. At 70,000, they would probably be paying a lot of attention to that. But they got over 100K. Something to note about 100K is that in a state that is as close as Michigan, a battleground state, Joe Biden needs those voters. And the entire premise of this campaign is to let him know he needs to change course. He needs to be able to adapt here. Now, it remains to be seen if he will, of course. But I think that there are a couple interesting points, right? So immediately after the results kind of were finalized with like 95-ish% of the vote in, it was interesting to see some reporting pop up like this. Presidential aides continue to believe that today's uncommitted voters will be November's Biden voters once they have a stark choice in front of them. Quote, "We also know that nearly all of the folks voting uncommitted do not support the extremism, the xenophobia, the incompetence of Donald Trump," the campaign insider said. "They want a president who listens and delivers. That's Joe Biden. We will earn their votes between now and November." So, at first glance, that might seem kind of lackluster. Like, it might seem like, oh, they're just going to ignore the results. But I'm also going to take a look here at what some Democratic lawmakers think about this. Specifically, here's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. "Last night's powerful showing in Michigan by the uncommitted campaign shouldn't be ignored, diminished, or demonized. These are committed Americans and Dems engaging the primary process to show us the path now for a winning coalition in November, and that includes a ceasefire." And I wanted to go over this segment from Democracy Now! Because they also interview former Democratic Senator Andy Levin. So let's take a look. We love Amy here.
You're a former Congress member, Andy Levin. You're also a former synagogue president. Talk about this uncommitted campaign. For every 6 votes President Biden got yesterday in the primary, uncommitted got 1. Talk about the organizing effort and what message that you hope that those who supported uncommitted like yourself sent to President Biden.
Well, good morning, Amy and everyone. I don't have much of a voice left, so sorry about that. It was really an incredible thing, Amy. I've been organizing for peace for 40 years, and I've rarely seen such an organic and authentic movement come together in, as you say, just 3 weeks. And we got over 100,000 people to vote uncommitted. This was something
that-
that grew up.
It is worth noting that this campaign was incredibly crunched. Incredibly crunched. And they still pulled out 6-digit figures.
Out of the Arab American and larger Muslim communities in Michigan, but it had great power among progressives, among Jewish people, Christians, Muslims, people of other faiths, people of no faith. College campuses were aflame about this. And the idea was that Michigan has this uncommitted box on our ballot because remember, this is a presidential primary and some other states do the same thing. You're voting to send delegates to a convention so you could vote to send delegates uncommitted. And in fact, we won so many votes, I believe we will send at least one delegate from 2 congressional districts, the 6th district represented by Debbie Dingell and the 12th district represented by Rashida Tlaib. I think the significance of this, Amy, is that the president's people, and maybe the president himself, there's a danger that they see this as sort of like a political problem. We need to send surrogates. We need better messaging. People just need to realize what a disaster Trump would be, which, of course, we can never let him get near the White House again. So they'll come around all of this.
Yeah, basically, something you'll notice about the buzz around this from establishment liberals in the Democratic Party is essentially that they'll argue that, oh, you're a traitor to Joe Biden. You're ruining Joe Biden's chances in the general by voting uncommitted in the primary. But that doesn't make any sense. The primary is specifically for this. This is like the venue to voice your dissent against a member of the left-leaning party. Like, if you haven't been organizing to get like ranked choice voting or anything, this is it. This is the time to voice your dissatisfaction in a way that might actually be listened to.
Yes. No. This is war. This is the killing of tens of thousands of innocent people, leveling whole neighborhoods, most of the Gaza Strip. We don't just want you to use a better message. The message from us to the president yesterday was, you must change course. You must change course for the sake of your political reelection and because it's the right and necessary thing to do from every point of view, including U.S. national security interests, for God's sake. The message to the president is, stop treating what Bibi Netanyahu says as the boundary of the possible. You've got to move towards an immediate and permanent ceasefire and an end to this carnage. Free all the hostages, free political prisoners among the Palestinians, including leading longtime prisoners who, if you don't like Hamas, free Marwan Barghouti, who's been in prison for so long, who many Palestinians might support to change the situation there.
That's a really good observation here. Like, if Israel was actually interested in like some kind of peace deal, they already have the most popular Palestinian politician in custody. Like, in custody right now. If they were at all interested in peace, that would be like, you could install a relatively friendly or at least cooperative government if they wanted to. They don't. They don't want to replace Hamas. They want to eliminate Palestinians.
So we really need actual change in policy, and I think we sent that message strongly last night.
Andy Levin, I wanted to ask you, I was particularly struck by the turnout. The Michigan Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, said that this was a record turnout on Tuesday for a presidential primary, compared to, for instance, South Carolina, where only 4% of Democrats voted in the primary. Here we had over, it looks like 50%. Could you explain this issue of turnout as well?
Well, one thing is that there were quite a greater number of Republicans voting, or people voting in the Republican primary than the Democratic primary. That's also something that's not great for President Biden. But there was some sense of a contest on that side, right? Even though we all know that Nikki Haley was going to trail by a wide margin. But it is remarkable, Juan. Think about it. We have an incumbent Democratic president running for re-election. We all know he's going to be the nominee. Most Democrats feel like maybe he's done a really great job in other areas. Personally, I was really proud to serve with him in the 117th Congress. I'm proud of the Investing in America agenda that we passed, having at least a semblance of industrial policy in America for the first time in many decades, and on and on. But what's remarkable is that this 100,000 plus people who voted uncommitted.
I actually hadn't heard that they had a turnout of 50% of registered Democrats. That's actually crazy. Like, given that level of turnout, I mean, like, I don't believe the aides leaking to the press that, oh, we're just gonna stay the course. We're not, we're just gonna, people are gonna change their minds between now and November. Like, I read that less as dismissiveness and more like they know they have to get their footing again. They know that they fucked up. They need to, in some way, readjust. That readjustment might come closer to the election than any of us would like, but I think it is coming.
Almost all of them, Juan, wouldn't have showed up but for this.
No.
They're mad at the
go ahead.
president. They would have stayed home. And our message was, wait a minute, that would be a disaster if you stayed home. He won't get the message. He won't understand. Come out and express your rage. Shake your fist at the president and say, look, for most of them, I voted for you in 2020. I'm really mad at you right now, and I have to tell you. So that, I think, Jews turnout. And look at East Lansing, where Michigan State University is. Look at Ann Arbor, where the University of Michigan is. It's not just Dearborn and Hamtramck with our incredible, beautiful concentration of Arab American and other Muslim voters. It's also young people across the state and progressives across the state who said, we're your base. We want to win in November. In order to win, we want peace now.
Yep. Time to break, I mean, frankly, it's time to do what, like, Joe Biden is kind of like, how do I phrase this? We talk about Joe Biden being a milquetoast lib all the time. I think it's time to apply pressure and break this milquetoast lib until he listens to our demands. And the way we can do that is through the primary. Like, after the Michigan results, I think basically, if you're left-leaning, vote uncommitted in the primary. I think that is the most effective way we can currently protest against him. Aside from, like, again, every time he is physically in a location, shout him down. Ask him, like, demand that he lead to a ceasefire. Like, my goodness. More needs to be done. My girlfriend and I love Amy Goodman. We all love Amy. Amy's one of the goats. But I think that this is working. I think it's going to be very, very hard, especially when, I mean, just incontrovertible evidence keeps coming out of Gaza that atrocities take place there every day. Sometimes multiple times a day on the scale of Abu Ghraib. It's like a dozen Abu Ghraibs every day in the Gaza Strip. Yeah, Stadman, we're about to talk about that. So, and this is honestly related here, okay? Every single day there's going to be a news story coming out of the IDF committing atrocities. I mean, we've basically already been seeing that, but it used to be in the early weeks, first few months, you know, there was at least some pretense, some you know, hand waving gesture towards, oh, well, we're not doing a genocide, we're not doing an ethnic cleansing, you know, we're just telling them to go from northern Gaza to southern Gaza, and then they'll be able to come back. Well, guess what? Now they're saying, well, actually, you went down to southern Gaza, you're in Rafah, you're not allowed to go back to northern Gaza. Also, we're going to launch a massive ground invasion of Rafah, the city we sent you to, saying it would be safe. Basically, the Netanyahu proposal right now for, you know, civilians in Rafah is, oh, just go to the other southern portions of Gaza, which are not at all capable of handling them. You know, the outposts out there don't have resources. People are starting to starve to death. And that is by design, by the way. You know, the IDF could allow aid into the Gaza Strip. They don't. In fact, there is a concerted movement among Israeli settlers to block aid trucks of all kinds, food, medicine, water, etc., block them from getting into the Gaza Strip. There are detachments of Israeli settlers who have gone around into Egypt to block aid trucks from Egypt getting through. So, yeah, and we're about to get to this, but basically, all the pretexts here are gone. You know, the 5 Israeli officials that are in charge of the war in Gaza, the atrocities in Gaza, they applaud atrocities. You know, they're the ones saying we're going to turn Gaza into a parking lot. They're the ones who are saying things like, oh, well, actually, we need to kill so many of them that other countries will take them in. The text is different, and I think people need to understand, like, even after 9/11, you would find, like, outlying, like, civilian people, like, you know, conservative dipshits who'd be like, we need to glass the Middle East, bro. We need to kill all of them. You know, don't bother finding Bin Laden. Just drop a nuke on his ass. You know, you'd find people like that, but that wouldn't be officials in the U.S. government or members of the U.S. military, you know, at, like, press conferences and such. The official state rhetoric was never eliminationist. Now, we did horrible, horrible things, and the U.S. has done horrible, horrible things for decades around the world, militarily, directly. But if we, you know, there's already been parallels drawn between, oh, this is Israel's 9/11. But if we look back at 9/11, we don't see, like, George Bush, you know, talking about how he wants to, like, level all Iraq and make it into a parking lot. We don't see that. We don't see, like, this I guess just it's different. You know, there weren't like official state documents coming out talking about how we just needed to kill, you know, a few million Iraqis in order to push them out into like a neighboring country. Like this is different. And I mean, like, I feel like nowhere is it more obvious than this, right? So, remember how I said very few aid trucks are able to get to where they are needed in the Gaza Strip? The IDF today, in the immediate aftermath, how do I even preface this? One of the numerous atrocities that happened today was actually directly filmed by the IDF. Essentially, people in the Gaza Strip are starving. They are dying. 90% of children under the age of 5 have communicable diseases at this point and illnesses. Incredibly high percentage of children are severely, they're basically entering a period where there's mass starvation. You know, we already had anecdotal accounts of people eating grass to try and stay alive. Now, we have people in hospitals being fed animal grain. The situation is so bad that aid trucks have been, accosted for their goods. So few of these trucks are getting in that people are desperate. And I mean, frankly, what you're about to see are people who have been backed into a corner and are desperate for survival, doing their best to survive. So, yeah, animal feed is not considered something humans should eat. It breaks teeth. It is extraordinarily hard for human beings to digest. What we're seeing here is the breakdown of Gazan society on a complete and utter level, and that is by design. So, this is footage put out by the IDF. I'll press play in a second. But basically, you're about to see civilians crowding around aid trucks, trying to get food, trying to get basic necessities for them to continue on living. And the IDF claims that in order to try and protect the drivers of these aid vehicles, they had to open fire on the crowd. So they gunned down over 100 people whose crime was being pushed to starvation by the IDF. The IDF, I need to emphasize this, the IDF released this footage because they think it absolves them. They think that when the public sees this footage, oh, well, that's fine then. It's psychotic. So I'm just going to I'm going to play this. It's about 1.5 minutes long. But yeah. This is a problem that would not exist if the IDF did not block almost all aid from getting into the country. It's all horrible. They're just trying to survive. I'm thankful there's no audio. Yeah, better view of the trucks here. Are the black spaces bombs or fires? I genuinely don't know. Wouldn't surprise me if they were bombs. Or fires, or both. So they released this footage like, oh, see? See? They were... There's nothing else we could do. But yeah. At least 104 people killed and hundreds injured in Gaza while waiting for food. Israeli troops opened fire, triggering panic as hungry Palestinian civilians were gathering around food aid trucks. People had swarmed around newly arrived aid trucks in western Gaza City in the hope of getting food. And keep in mind, Gaza City is in the north part of Gaza, the area hit heaviest by the fighting. When Israeli forces started shooting, according to witnesses, many of the victims died when they were run over by trucks, according to one account. Because again, of course, the trucks would start moving as there's gunfire, because they don't know what's happening. The Palestinian Ministry of Health in Gaza said 104 were killed and more than 700 injured in the incident. One of the deadliest since the war in Gaza began. A local journalist in Gaza, Kader al-Zaanud, said who was at the scene and witnessed the incident, said large crowds had gathered waiting for food to be distributed from aid trucks, but he said that the chaos and confusion that led to people being hit by the trucks only started once Israeli forces opened fire. An Israeli military spokesman disputed the Palestinian account of events in a briefing later Thursday and said there were two separate incidences involving aid trucks. First, he says trucks went to the north and were swarmed by crowds with trucks running over people. Subsequently, he says a group of Palestinians approached Israeli forces, who then opened fire on the Palestinians. The IDF spokesperson, Daniel Hargari, said at a press conference Thursday there was no strike on the aid convoy. I want to repeat that. No IDF strike was conducted towards the aid convoy. On the contrary, the IDF was there conducting a humanitarian operation. Yeah. No. We didn't strike the convoy. We just shot around the convoy, you see. It's very different. But yeah, like, they think that saying, oh, well, a group of Palestinians approached the IDF, killing them all is fine then. That's insane. Like, the fact that they will go in front of people and be like, yeah, Palestinians approached us, so we slaughtered them. As if that's a defense. It's insane. Yeah, this has led to numerous countries in the region calling for an international investigation that is likely not going to happen due to the United States' constant vetoes of international cooperation on this matter. It's honestly disgusting, but like, this type of story comes out like every day from the IDF. The IDF soldiers will just tweet like, "Hey, I'm in Gaza. Look at me doing a war crime." Like they'll just tweet that out. I'm confused who exactly in the US is doing this for. It's conservatives. It's conservative evangelical Christians. Basically, and I know this because I grew up reading apocalyptic religious books from evangelicals. There is a not insignificant number of evangelical Christians in America who basically believe that by moving the capital of Israel to Jerusalem, and that by allowing Israel to retake its ancient territorial control, that will usher in the second coming of Christ, and the Armageddon can begin, essentially. They think that it will herald kind of the culmination of the book of Revelations, and that Jesus will return, and all non-Christians will be cleansed in a roaring fire of destruction. It's I know that sounds insane, but I need you to, it's deeply important to understand, because it's such a key component of Republican political calculus. You know? And then, neoliberals, on the other hand, want it as, a military ally to counter Iran. There's just, a number of things here, but it has nothing to do, really, with the principled defense of the country. Yeah, exactly, Snoogan. It doesn't matter how insane it is. They believe it's very real. Oh, weird. Here's another update from CNN. At least 112 civilians killed now in northern Gaza while waiting for aid, Palestinian Health Ministry says. The ministry added 760 people were injured. They have a more accurate count now. Israel's military and eyewitnesses have provided contradictory accounts of the events on the ground. Damn, that's crazy. You mean Israel would do that? Just go out in front of the world and lie about war crimes? That's crazy, dog. Also, it's somewhat... You remember how, the IDF was like, well, you see, the trucks were running over people, and so we needed to shoot a group of Palestinians that approached the IDF. Just as an FYI, Israeli tanks fired warning shots to disperse crowd in Gaza. Claims the IDF. Israeli tanks fired warning shots to disperse a crowd around an aid convoy in Gaza on Thursday after seeing that people in the crowd were being trampled. Yes. The warning shots one typically fires from a tank. We just fired one across the port bow. What are you talking about? Even if you bought this as they were genuine warning shots, what do you think hearing tanks begin firing is going to make the drivers of aid trucks do? They're gonna try and get the fuck out because a tank is firing in their vicinity. The IDF released a short video which appears to show a tank driving parallel to the crowd several meters away. As you can see in this video, the tanks that were there to secure the convoy sees the Gazans being trampled and cautiously tries to disperse the mob with a few warning shots. Insane. 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 Yeah, we needed tanks to secure the aid. Yeah. You see the crowd of starving, unarmed people needed a tank round to warn them not to be starving. What are you talking about? You're the ones making them starve. Sounds like expensive warning shots. Yeah, like no kidding. Like even if you think of for the love of God, if you're conservative, okay? Just think about how little it makes sense to fire warning shots with a tank. It doesn't make sense. No one would do that. Yeah, we really needed to fire this anti-tank round at starving civilians. Insane. Also, again, these are just, by the way, guys, we're just going through the stories from today. This is from today. IDF responds to CNN investigation into indiscriminate killing of half an entire family. She almost died in an Israeli airstrike. What happened to her family was a mystery. Then an idea appeared. How indiscriminate Israeli fire killed half a family in Gaza. I think, chat, this is a friendly interpretation of this story, right? Like, oh yeah, it was indiscriminate fire. The thing is, with a lot of the stories coming out of Gaza, I don't think you can put this down to indiscriminate fire. I think that the fire is discriminate. It's discriminating any Palestinians. That's the distinction. They're carpet bombing to kill civilians. I feel like that is a deliberate targeting. It's not indiscriminate, you know? So the people, we need the Nakba, but way bigger, mean it. It's still insane. No. The thing is, they've meant that from the beginning, because from the beginning, they displaced over 1 million Palestinians. Now I think the number of displaced Palestinians in the Gaza Strip is up to like 1.5 million, 1.8 million. Like, it's crazy high. And like, that's already like multiple times bigger than the first Nakba. What's even the total population? The total population of the Gaza Strip was around 2.4 million people. They evacuated about half the population evacuated the northern Gaza Strip to go to the southern part. Also, this is the IDF responding to that news story that was already kind of doing some cover for them. When we are going after Hamas leadership, and when they are hiding in the civilian arena, there are civilian consequences, Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner told CNN's Wolf Blitzer. A key finding of CNN's investigation was that several members of the Abu Jibba family were killed by the shockwave of what was likely a 2,000-pound bomb dropped by the Israeli military. Such a large bomb is, by its nature, indiscriminate when civilians are present. The IDF told CNN it was responding to fire by militants. The IDF also told begin evacuating days ahead of the incident. When it asked for evidence of that claim, the IDF did not provide any, and survivors of the attack said they were not warned in advance. So it's literally just a trust us, bro. Just trust us. We told them to leave and they just stayed. Like, they really deserved it when you think about it that way. The IDF alleged they were fired upon from near the location where the civilians were sheltering. Survivors of the attack told CNN there were no militants at their location. The IDF separately alleged there were Hamas weapon facilities several hundred meters away from the location they bombed, but did not allege that the building they bombed was a Hamas facility. Oh, well, you know, there was a Hamas building in the area. Just in the area, you know, sure, it might have been not what we bombed, but there was probably a Hamas thing around there. That's literally their excuse. Their excuse is on the level of, like, the dog ate my homework. Lerner said that watching the report, there was a lot of... Oh, God. There was a lot of supposition and not fact-based analysis. He did not go into detail. Crazy. I can't believe he didn't. CNN provided the IDF with the opportunity to respond to the report's key allegations in advance of publication via an extensive list of questions. Responding to CNN's investigation, the UN Secretary General spokesperson on Wednesday called for a full investigation into what we reported. The International Criminal Court Prosecutor's Office said it is also aware of the incident and following closely. Like, these stories are coming out multiple times a day, chat. Not to mention they have precision munitions if they wanted to hit the Hamas base of operations. Yeah. They didn't have to drop a 2,000-pound bomb unguided on top of a non-hostile target. And that's because they're doing something other than what they're explicitly saying to the public, frankly. It's not conspiracy, that's just facts. So, with that, I'm gonna be done talking about that for a bit. I know that was a lot. Being sick sucks. How we doing? You doing okay, folks? Also, we've been going for about an hour and a half. If y'all are enjoying the show or getting anything useful out of the show, please hit the follow button on Twitch, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, like the YouTube stream, and consider, like, dropping some subs or donos. I would very, very much appreciate them. That they are what keep this show going and are what make it brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. I'm fine. I'm angry, but yeah, I understand. Hey, Metal Kitty Mom. I fully believe that if the world wasn't watching, Netanyahu would have just ordered the entire IDF to amass on top of the Gaza Strip. They would have just gone down and massacred all 2 million people. The only reason we're seeing the protracted genocide is because even for the West, there's a limit to the brutality. I agree, Sophie. I agree. I think there's a reason why one of the priorities was cutting off internet access to the Gaza Strip. And one of the other priorities that we've seen unfold throughout the months of bombing is the deliberate targeting of journalists. I think that there is a concerted effort to try and control the narrative specifically to get as close to achieving that goal as possible. It's why when CNN journalists are, allowed into Gaza to report on this, they need to be embedded. They are required to be embedded with IDF troops. And, frankly, anything that they are going to publish needs to be run through the IDF first. Yeah, like, I mean, as far as, like, how could you say that they're killing journalists deliberately? This has been one of the deadliest wars for journalists in modern history. Like, just period. Like, the Ukraine war has far more combatants, but the number of journalists killed on either side of the conflict pales in comparison to the number of journalists killed in Gaza. So, with all of this coming out, all of these horrible stories coming out, I think that between that and protest votes, there's no way the United States can just stand as, like, these, like, stories keep coming out. As the base of the president of the United States currently revolts against him, I don't think that there is any way there's not going to be some kind of movement from the Biden administration. And maybe that makes me quite naive. But I think that, like, even just with cold calculus of, like, political chances, I think that a repositioning needs to happen, you know? Oh god, I'm so snotty, I'm sorry. Hello, Salmon Moose. All the US says is we're waiting for Israel to complete their investigation. Yeah. Frankly, yeah. My goodness. All right. Hey, Tier Star. Howdy, howdy. I guess I just wanted to note this real quick. I consider Mehdi Hasan to be, like, one of the better, like, mainstream journalists, especially on issues like the genocide in Gaza. And it was really, really disappointing to hear that he had been fired. And I'm also very excited to see that he's now launching his own media company to continue being a pretty vital voice in the American political discussion, you know? I think he's really important to have continue being a media figure, so I'm glad to see that he's making this move. He released a short video about it. Figured we'd go over it just real quick.
What? You thought I was gone? Oh no, you can't get rid of me that easily. I'm back with a whole new media company, in fact, my own. We're calling it Zeteo, the ancient Greek word that goes back to Socrates and Plato, which means to seek out, to inquire, to get to the truth. And that is the guiding principle behind my new media venture. Zeteo will bring you hard-hitting interviews and unsparing analysis that you won't find elsewhere. Shows, podcasts, op-eds, newsletters. We have it all. And it's not just me. I've been busy a la Nick Fury assembling an Avengers-style team of contributors, the kind of big names from media, activism and Hollywood that will blow your mind. Now, you know I've never been afraid to ask the tough questions, and I plan to continue doing that, including right now. Will you join me and help build Zateo from the ground up by becoming a subscriber, a paid subscriber? Sign up below and let's change the news together. Because it's time for a new media organization that isn't afraid.
Yeah, you know, I want to see where this goes. I want to see where this goes. I think that maybe I trust Mehdi Hassan to have his head on straight regarding a lot of issues. So part of me is really excited to see him kind of untethered from the muzzle of traditional mainstream media. I'm excited to see where this goes. I don't know if it's going to be like groundbreaking or change. I don't know. It has potential, and I'll take that. I'll take the potential for improvement. One of the better Hassans, yeah. Out of curiosity, do they have like a channel up yet? Doesn't look like they do yet. Ah, okay. It's a Substack thing. So basically it has a dedicated page on Substack. That's a bit disappointing. I would have hoped it would have been launched not on Substack, but I know that Substack is currently a hot commodity in like journalism, I guess. Ooh, Salmon Moose! Congrats on smooching. But can you see where this goes if you aren't a paid subscriber? I have no idea, Forlorn. All right. Beep boop boo doo. Now, chat. I know exactly how many of you are watching the stream right now. Okay? So I know that there are 130-ish, 140-ish people watching right now over on YouTube, and 40 people watching over on Twitch. So all told, I know there's 180 of you watching right now. We only have 48 likes on the stream, and frankly, that's unacceptable. Go hit the like button on the YouTube stream, you chuckle nuts. Get good sleep, Ashley. Good luck with your early rise tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. I called you chuckle nuts. Like the stream. I've only just got home from being a hussy. Well, Salmon Moose, I think it deserves a high five. I don't know why I clapped my hands and then went for the high five. That was too much, and I apologize. Who you calling a chuckle nut? And folks, Remember, do consider dropping some subs or donos. Every 2 subs, I will play that song. Maybe this strategy is working against me. I don't know, but I still think it's funny and will listen to it as many times as I need to. Hail Soybeck, there's nothing I could do about that. I'm so sorry. What song? You'll find out if somebody donates $10 or 2 subs, or 2 people donate $5 a piece or get 1 sub a piece. You're not my supervisor? I am now. Supervising you right now. All right.
Hi,
Oh.
What song?
Tier Star, thank you for the 2 gifted Tier 1 subs. You about to find out. There is a Republican activist named Luke Macias. Active currently.
What song? Subs from the sub gods. Donos from the dono dogs.
Luke Macias likes to make... Oh no.
I think we could all use some positive energy. Could you please raise us up? BWA.
All right. It's time to raise you all up. All right. Luke Macias is a conservative Republican talking head. Relatively minor. But he makes songs to make fun of state Republicans in Texas. Well, not state Republicans. He himself is a Republican dipshit. So basically, he's trying to mock like left-leaning individuals. So here we go. Here's his latest banger that I discovered. I didn't do a very good job explaining it.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
I'm too far left. Some people call me commie. A Democrat in Texas is hard to be. But I pass bills and kill some policy. 'Cause Speaker Dade has put his trust in me.
We have 13 of these left.
He raised me up, led me
Chair a committee. He raised me up.
My
Bill's his priority.
I am strong when I stand on his short shoulders. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be. He
Raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, put me on his dream team. Don't know to slow down.
In Daddy Dade's army, he raised me up. I'm more than I should be. I'm so much more.
Daddy Dade.
Much more than I should.
Fortnite, I genuinely have no idea. I'm not watching the 30-minute long show he put out before he released this. I don't care about the context. I'll trade for 4 at 1.5 speed. All right. I'll do that. All right, half speed.
Speaker of Parliamentary Inquiry.
Please take the inquiry.
No.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
I love how people are both angry and thankful for Paladin right now. A hero to some, a villain to others.
I'm too far left. Some people call me commie. A Democrat.
Yeah, you're either a Yamero or a Kek W.
Texas is
There's no in
hard
between.
to be, but I pass bills and
I just want you all to know it's really difficult for me to describe my job to people when they ask, what do I do for a living? It's really hard because I know that if they ever come into one of my streams, it's more likely that they're going to come in on a moment like this. And there's no amount of explaining I can do that's going to make this make sense. But I'm here for chaos.
kill some policy.
Man, he really hits those notes.
Speaker Dade has put his trust in me.
Sit there. I've been a good soldier to him.
He raised me up, led me chair a committee. He raised me up, my bills his priority. I am strong when I stand on his short shoulders. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be. He raised me up, let me
Oh my god.
He raised me up, put me on his dream team.
God.
I am a soldier in Daddy Dade's army. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be. I'm so
Oh my God.
much more. Much more than I should.
What did I tune into? Yeah, collective punishment. Yeah, a war crime. Only 9 more of these, chat. I'm sorry, duck and creepers. Okay. Also, I believe that this is probably a bit relevant to who Luke Macias is, the guy who's singing this song. Defend Texas Liberty PAC names new president after leader met with white supremacist Nick Fuentes. Basically, Luke Macias got named as president of this political action committee after its former leader outed himself as a white nationalist. So, you know, always a good sign that folks like this are just in very close proximity to, like, KKK members.
Mr. Speaker of
Only
Parliamentary
8 more.
Inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
This is why you do 1776.
I'm too far left. Some people call
Yes, you
me
can.
commie. A Democrat in Texas is hard to be. But I pass bills and kill some policy. 'Cause Speaker Dade has put his trust in me.
Sit there. I've been a good soldier to him.
He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, my bill's his priority. I am strong when I stand on his short shoulders. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be.
Priorities.
He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, put me on his dream team.
Also, I guess this guy just has a hate boner specifically for the Speaker of Texas's House. Like he'll just write he'll do entire shows dedicated to hating this man for wanting to go surfing. Like I don't know. But also I feel like there's an obsession here that is I don't know. He made this thumbnail himself, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Also, yeah, nah. Alright. Moving on.
I am a soldier in Daddy Dade's army. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be. I'm so much more.
He and Benny Johnson would be great wingmen.
Much
Maybe.
more than I should.
Did my sub go through? Rambe, I haven't seen it on my end, so unsure. I was gonna ask if he was gay the first time the song played, but wasn't sure. Well, he is supposedly married with, like, 3 kids. So, I mean, that doesn't mean much for a conservative, so I'd say there's like a 50-50 chance he's gay.
Mr. Speaker, a parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
Just out of curiosity, I want to know what it sounds like sped up. Does it turn into a bop?
I'm too far left. Some people call me commie. A Democrat in Texas is hard to be. But I pass bills and kill some
Jack, the absolute gayest man I ever met, is married to a woman, had kids.
Has put his trust in me.
Oh, no. I've been a good soldier to him.
He raised me up, led me chair a committee.
Now it's a worker union
he
song.
Raised me up, my bills his priority. I am strong when I stand on his short shoulders. He raised me up, I'm more than I should be. He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, put me on his dream team. I am a soldier in Daddy Dave's army.
Test all the
He
speeds.
raised me up, I'm more than I should be. I'm so much more than I should be.
There we go.
Mr. Speaker, a parliamentary inquiry.
Please state.
We need to know. What does it sound like at ludicrous speeds?
Inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
I'm too far left.
There needs to
Some
be a law
people
that bans
call me
politicians
commie.
from singing in
A
public.
Democrat in Texas is hard to be, but I pass bills and kill some policy. The Speaker Dade has put his trust in me.
Sit there. I've been a good soldier to him.
Thank you for the $5 dono.
He raised me up.
Got us another
let
raise
me
up.
chair a committee. He raised me up. My bills his priority. I am strong when I stand on his short shoulders. He raised me up, I'm more than I should be. He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, put me on his dream team. I am a soldier in Daddy Dave's army. He raised me up, I'm more than I should be. I'm so much more than I should be.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, a parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
This is a little bit slower.
I'm too far left. Some people call me commie. A Democrat in Texas is hard to be. But I pass bills and kill some policy. 'Cause Speaker Dade has put his trust in me.
Sit there. I've been a good soldier to him.
He raised me up, led me chair a committee. He raised me up, my bills his priority. I am strong.
My neighbors are gonna
when I
kill me.
stand on his
I'm so
short
sorry.
shoulders. He raised me up, I'm more than I should be. He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, put me on his dream team.
Please, I'll do anything
I
to
am
stop
a
this.
soldier in Daddy Dade's army. He raised me up.
I'm
more
open
than
to
I
ideas
should
here
be.
Thursday. What are you offering?
I'm so much more much more than I should be.
All right.
Mr. Speaker, a parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
Hello, Crispy Fried.
I'm too far left. Some people call me commie. A Democrat in Texas is hard.
Oh, Omega Star. You're in for a treat.
But I pass bills and kill some policy. 'Cause Speaker Dade has put his trust in me.
Sit there. I've been a good soldier to him.
He raised me up, led me chair a committee.
Hey, this is a team effort.
He raised
I
me
did this.
up, my bills his priority. I am strong when I stand on his short shoulders.
Man, conservatives are the cringiest motherfuckers.
He raised me up. I'm more than I should be. He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, put me on his dream team. I am a soldier in Daddy Dade's army. He
That up
raised
is so
me
painful.
up.
Yeah.
I'm more than I should be.
Oh, God.
I'm so much.
If you believe this song is just about having a boner, it's not as bad.
Much more than I should be.
I just, again, this is, the guy he's complaining about here is this guy. I feel like this song is like a form of flirtation, if I'm being completely honest. Thursday! Thank you for the $20 super chat over on YouTube. I very much appreciate that. And to be clear, this is not to add 10 more of these, correct? This is not to add 10 more. It's his mating song. Oh no. I will, however, grant you a brief reprieve, but only it's not really a reprieve. Okay? It's one of his other songs. It's one of his other songs. This isn't his first rodeo, chat. It's not his first time going to watch the rodeo. Oh. There we go.
My gosh, this is the Texas House. So with that, here is my version of that song from the perspective of a sitting state representative. May God bless you, and may God bless Texas.
Oh my God, what? It's not his first serenade.
Texas house, we're a family. We got each other's backs both day and night. In this backwoods place, wrong means right. And if you ain't seen Mrs. T, she takes the R's and she makes them weak. If you dare call us out, we'll say you lie. We may move our bills a little slower, but that don't mean we can't say we are better. Where I come from, we give Democrats all these chairmanships. Where I come from, we overturn some elections and impeach your Ken. Where I come from, we expanded Medicaid and gave you pot. No, I swear the Democrats don't run the show. Where I come from. See those red flag laws? Man, I swear we could kill them now. I guarantee that we never will. Those hospitals right there with the transgender care, we're giving them your money, and I'll tell you now, they'll transition all your kids with your own dollar bills. Don't let those social media posts fool you. Our chamber really doesn't care for virtue. Where I come from, we give Democrats all these chairmanships. Where I come from, we overturn some elections and impeach your Ken. Where I come from, that Ramadan party's gonna have a crowd, yeah. I'm pretty damn proud.
What?
Where I come from.
Oh my god, he's awful in every way.
Where I come from.
That Ramadan party's gonna have a full
committee loves CRT.
Jesus.
Where I come from. Our state affairs committee loves the CCP. Where I come from. If you lie to the voters, then your bills get passed. Where I come from. The GOP priorities, they come in last. Where I come from. We expanded Medicaid and gave you pot. No, swear the Democrats don't run the show. Yeah, the Senate seems to work and make things go. Where I come from.
Oh my god, how is it not over?
Where I come from.
Wait, original song by Montgomery Gentry? Okay, so that wasn't an original song. Okay, to be clear, he's not part of a band called Montgomery Gentry. God.
He is bad, but he is kind of charming. But this will end up on John Oliver for sure.
It's a spoof song? Thank God. Alright. We're gonna listen to that one again, but sped up, because I would like to. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not buying the straight presentation of this man. I'm sorry.
From the perspective of a sitting state representative. May God bless you, and may God bless Texas.
Texas house, we're a family. We got each other's backs both day and night. In this backward place, wrong means right. And if you ain't seen,
not gonna lie, this is kind of fire. This is kind of fire, right?
You lie. We may move our bills a little slower, but that don't mean we can't say we are better. Where I come from, we give Democrats all these chairmanships. Where I come from, we overturn some elections and impeach your Ken. Where I come from, we expanded Medicaid and gave you pot. No, I swear the Democrats will run the show. Where I come from.
See those red flag laws? Man, I swear we could kill them now. I guarantee that we never will. Those hospitals right there with the transgender care, we're giving them your money, and I'll tell you now, they'll transition all your kids with your own dollar bills. Don't let those social media posts fool you.
It's true. If you drive by the hospital,
really
they'll snipe you with the transgender serum.
Where I come from, we give Democrats all these chairmanships. Where I come from, we overturn some elections and impeach your Ken. Where I come from, that Ramadan party's gonna have a crowd. Yeah, I'm pretty.
This is like insane. You put out a song like this after like the guy who runs your political organization just got outed as like a white nationalist, and like you include the lyrics in this song of where I come from, that Ramadan party's gonna have a full like party list. What is his exact wording here?
And where I come from, that Ramadan party's gonna have a crowd. Yeah,
it's gonna have a crowd. Oh no, Muslim people will be able to live in Texas. The horror.
I'm pretty damn proud where I come from. Where I come from, our hiring committee loves CRT. Where I come from, our state affairs committee loves the CCP. Where I come from, if you lie to the voters, then your bills get passed. Where I come from, the GOP priorities, they come in last. Where I come from, we expanded Medicaid and gave you pot. No, it's where the Democrats will run the show. Yeah, the Senate seems to work and make things go. Where I come from, where I come from.
Excellent. Yeah, winners and losers. I'd love to take a look at your documentary. Doesn't make it any better, but is that 1x speed? No, that was 1.5 speed. We're gonna jump it up to 2x speed because we have 4 more of these. Thank you, Kevin Maxwell Smith, for the $5 super chat. His vocal pitch sounds better, sped up. Well, yeah, because he's not wibbling his voice all over the place. Oh, Entrama. I find the finest of rot. Wait, that song was played at... Nope, it's about to be, though.
In Texas house, we're a family. We got each other's backs both day and night. In this backward place, wrong means right. And if you ain't seen Mrs. T, she takes the R's and she makes them weak. If you dare call us out, we'll say you lie. We may move our bills a little slower, but that don't mean we can't say we are better. Where I come from, we give Democrats all these chairmanships. Where I come from, we overturn some elections and impeach your Ken. Where I come from, we expanded Medicaid and gave you pot. No, it's where the Democrats will run the show. Where I come from. See those red flag laws? Man, I swear we could kill them now. I guarantee that we never will. Those hospitals right there with the transgender care, we're giving them your money, and I'll tell you now, they'll transition all your kids with your own dollar bills. Don't let those social media posts fool you. Our chamber really doesn't care for virtue. Where I come from, we give Democrats all these chairmanships. Where I come from, we overturn some elections and impeach your Ken. Where I come from, that Ramadan party's gonna have a crowd. Yeah, I'm pretty damn proud. Where I come from.
Yeah, bigot corner.
Our hiring committee loves CRT. Where I come from, our state affairs committee loves the CCP. Where I come from, if you lie to the voters, then your bills get passed. Where I come from, the GOP priorities, they come in last. Where I come from, we expanded Medicaid and gave you pot. No, it's where the Democrats will run the show. Yeah, the Senate seems to work and make things go. Where I come from, where I come from.
Oh yeah, no, he's singing a song about how much he hates the Republican Speaker of the Texas Senate, I believe, because he's too liberal. these songs are about how Texas is too left leaning and that needs to be conservative because right now all of your taxes are going to transing the kids and Ramadan parties. Like that, he's literally just making these songs about how racist he is. Oh God. Winners and losers, you should be able to share a link in chat. Do the original writers of the song know about his cover? I genuinely have no idea. I need to know. I need to know. No. I need a playlist. I know you have a playlist of your songs. You must have a playlist of your songs. Do you not? Ah, you piece of shit. Okay, I'm just gonna find them. Yeah, no, this guy just has, like, a hate boner for this specific Republican speaker.
Politicians only talked about banning abortion.
This is from his channel.
Please state your inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat?
Oh my God,
Thank
why?
you.
Conservative State Rep Speaker Dade Phelan took action and did it all. Leading the Texas House, Dade also stopped liberals from defunding police, banned transgender surgeries on minors, and Dade passed Texas's biggest Second Amendment achievement, constitutional carry. Politicians, pundits, liars, and naysayers only talk. Conservative Dade Phelan acts.
Liberal speaker Dade Phelan is scared and running TV ads to try and define himself as a conservative. But, like, he's a Republican. He got appointed by the governor. Also, again, this guy is just obsessed with Dade Phelan to the point where he just will straight up upload one of Dade Phelan's ads. It's wild. I mean, you have 3 left, guys. You have 3 left, all right? All right. Okay, he only has the 2. But it's time for us to get back to our roots.
Mr. Speaker, a parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
I'm too
Oh,
far
Sophie,
left.
no!
Some people call me commie. A Democrat in Texas is hard to be, but I pass bills and kill some policy, 'cause Speaker Dade has put his trust in me.
Sit there. I've been a good soldier to him.
He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up, my bill's his priority. I am strong when I stand on his short shoulders. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be.
Make it stop tears of joy.
He raised me up, let me chair a committee. He raised me up. Put me on his dream team. I am a soldier in Daddy Dave's army.
Daddy Dave Dimmadome.
I'm more than I should be.
Oh, God.
I'm so much more than I should be.
This is some Tim and Eric shit, isn't it? But he's doing it seriously, which is, I think, even funnier.
Mr. Speaker, a parliamentary inquiry.
Please take your inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
I'm too far left. Some people call me commie. A Democrat in Texas is hard to be. But I pass bills and kill some policy. 'Cause Speaker Dade has put his trust in me.
Sit there. I've been a good soldier to him.
He raised me up, led me chair a committee. He raised me up, my bill's his priority. I am strong when I stand on his short shoulders.
Did you know hiring an electrician is 10x more expensive than you'd assume?
I'm more than I should
found that out today, upside down face.
I did not. But they are Joe. Thank you for resubscribing.
He raised me up, put me on his dream team. I am a soldier in Daddy Dave's army. He raised me up. I'm more than I should be. I'm so much more than I should be.
Two more.
Mr. Speaker, a parliamentary inquiry.
Please take your inquiry.
Do you know that I'm a Democrat? Thank you for working with us.
Nasty redacted.
I'm too far left. Some people call me commie. A Democrat in Texas is hard to be. But I pass bills and kill some policy.
I saw it, Zoomy dear.
The Speaker Dade
I got
has
it.
put his trust in me.
Sit there. I've been a good soldier to him.
He raised me up, led me chair a committee. He raised me up, my bill's his priority. I am strong when I stand on his short shoulders. He raised me up, I'm more than I should be.
How's stream been tonight?
He raised me
It's
up,
mainly been nonsense because of my bullshit.
He raised me up, put me on his dream team. I am a soldier in Daddy Dave's army. He raised me up, I'm more than I should be. I'm so much more than I should be.
Then hear this song again. Fair. Wish granted. But we will have to listen to the other one.
Texas house, we're a family, we got each other's backs both day and night. In this backwards place, wrong means right. And if you ain't seen Mrs. T, she takes the R's and she makes them weak. If you dare call us out, we'll say you lie. We may move our bills a little slower, but that don't mean we can't say we are better. Where I come from, we give Democrats all these chairmanships. Where I come from, we overturn some elections and impeach your can. Where I come from, we expanded Medicaid and gave you hot no. It's where the Democrats will run the show. Where I come from. See those red flag laws? Man, I swear, we could kill them now. I guarantee that we never will. Those hospitals right there with the transgender care, we're giving them your money, and I'll tell you now, they'll transition all your kids with your own dollar bills. Don't let those social media posts fool you.
Our chamber really doesn't care for virtue.
He's like if you cross Tim Pool with Bob Saget.
Where I come from. We overturn some elections and impeach your can. Where I come from. That Ramadan party's gonna have a crowd.
Right?
Yeah, I'm pretty damn
Am I the
proud.
only one who sees
Where
that?
I come from.
Technico, we can definitely try.
Our hiring committee loves CRT, where I come from. Our state affairs committee loves the CCP, where I come from.
I'm not the only one who sees that, right? Punky Gal, you see it? Okay.
GOP priorities that come in last, where I come from. We expanded Medicaid and gave you pot no. It's where the Democrats will run the show. Yeah, the Senate seems to work and make things go. Where I come from. Where I come from.
His face just looks like Bob Saget's. I'm sorry. Excellent. 10 out of 10. All right. We did it. You made it through. Is this satire or something? That guy runs a conservative PAC whose previous leader got fired for being a white
Another.
Where I come from.
In Texas house, we're a family. We got each other's backs both day and night. In this backward place, wrong means right. And if you ain't seen Mrs. T, she takes the R's and she makes them weak. If you dare call us out, we'll say you lie. We may move
It's a satire song made by a conservative who thinks another conservative is too left-leaning.
Where I come from. We overturned some elections and impeach your can. Where I come from. We expanded Medicaid and gave you pot no. It's where the Democrats will run the show. Where I come
There are
from.
two types of people. There's the Texas House is a family people, and he raised me up people.
Giving them your money, and I'll tell you now, they'll transition all your kids with your own dollar bills. Don't let those social media posts fool you. Our chamber really doesn't care for virtue. Where I come from, give Democrats all these chairmanships. Where I come from, we overturn some elections and impeach your can. Where I come from, that Ramadan party's gonna have a crowd. Yeah, I'm pretty damn proud. Where I come from. Where I come from. Our hiring committee loves CRT. Where I come from.
So
Our
basically,
state
he's
affairs
a
committee loves
wealthy
CCP, where I come
conservative
from.
dipshit.
If you lie to the voters, then your bills get passed. Where I come from. The GOP priorities that come in last. Where I come from. We expanded Medicaid and gave you pot no. It's where the Democrats will run the show. Yeah, the Senate seems to work and make things go. Where I come from. Where I come from.
Again, 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 again. Be wah ha 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 ha.
LB, going for chaos, I see. I will give chat the opportunity to choose your poison. You have two options. 30 seconds to make your choice. Red dress or raise me up. 30 seconds. Wow. Okay. Lot of you going for red dress. Interesting. Is there a third one? Unfortunately not. Well, I'm kind of shocked. But you know, let's go. It's been a while since we had some OG cringe.
Church to praise all love, sitting, coming for someone else. It didn't stew well with me, but I said it was a lover's deed. Didn't trust my own feels, let someone else behind my wheel. Said it was love driving me, but the only one who should.
What the hell is this? It's red. It's red dress. Is this another Republican congressperson? No.
See me in a red dress, hopping on the deathbed, thinking of lust as they judge and discuss. What are you doing here? They see me in a red dress, hopping on the deathbed, thinking of lust as I judge and discuss. What am I doing here? Letting someone else.
Nah, this is an original song, baby. Sarah Brand wouldn't steal. I also can't understand the words to this song.
Time to change the hearts and minds of people not like me and break or stride.
The message is something something slutty in church.
That'd be something if I remained. It just ain't me singing a sin, watching exclusion getting its wins. 'Cause what they saw, they see me in a red dress, hopping on the deathbed, thinking of lust as the judge and discuss. What are you doing here? They see me in a red dress, hopping on the deathbed, thinking of lust as the judge and discuss. What am I doing here? Letting someone else steal.
She winked right at Jesus.
Came to church to praise love, come on for someone else, but all the eyes.
Right, Paladin? Red dress confirmed. Most popular song in Riverboat Jack Chat.
You see me in a red dress, no different from the rest, starting to trust as they join in a rush. What are we doing here? You see me in a red dress, no different from the rest, starting to trust as I lose my disgust. What am I doing here? I'm striking the field. They see me in a red dress.
All right. We've done it. She recorded the audio seconds after being broken up with by text. I bet she never raised him up. True. True. So, how we feeling? I know that was a lot of cringe, a possibly lethal amount of cringe actually, but you know, are you okay? I feel enlightened. Yeah, honestly, like hearing it over and over and over again, you start to feel like you're a part of a greater whole. It's strange. My country, 'tis of the worst. I'm just gonna go join Shoe on Heads community now. You know, I don't blame you. I've radicalized you all, but accidentally, to conservatism. Oh god. Yeah, red dress is like famously bad. All right. You should get the red dress from the video and wear it for stream. That dress isn't very nice. It's not a good dress, guys. Charlie, thank you for the $5 super chat. And if we get another $5, we'll maybe delve more into the work of Sarah Brand. Any red dress can be a red dress. I mean, I have red dresses. Lily Viathan, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. And folks, we have been going for 2.5 hours. If you have been enjoying or tolerating, as the case might be, the stream, remember to hit the follow button on Twitch, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, like the YouTube stream, and consider dropping some subs or donos. Though I feel like I've done some damage today in our parasocial relationship. Nobody's been enjoying this. I've kind of been enjoying it. She wasn't being shamed for being slutty. She was being shamed for the Rizless dress. Fair. You're all fools? Oh, very knifey duck. Why? I'm getting a parasocial divorce. No! I'm starting to get into it. See, that's what you have to do. Embrace the Stockholm Syndrome. It's been giving me something to kill bugs to. By killing bugs, I think you mean spreading democracy to the bugs. Oh, God. All right. Well, time to move on to our next segment, wherein an eldritch monstrosity, long forgotten, long thought to still be slumbering among the waves, suddenly reveals itself in all of its divine, unknowable horror from its sleeping spot in Riley, where it dwells.
Everybody, welcome to the fireside chat. I have no idea what number it is. Is it even numberable? Are we in order? What's the number?
329.
329. Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager here. Snoopy's behind me, but I can't pet him. But it doesn't matter. He gets petted plenty. Good to be with you. This is my weekly sojourn into thinking.
We're going over this because Dennis Prager's about to try and make the argument that governance through fear is good.
About life with you and then taking your questions wherever you are in the world. And people do watch from many places. So I have a real...
Time for more weed? That's a good choice.
What's a good adjective for this? Challenging is one possibility, but...
We are going to speed him up because he is unlistenable at his normal speed.
It's something probably you have not thought about, but it's big. So when is fear good? Well, let me offer you a thought.
I know it sounds like he's talking like a normal person right now. He's at 1.5 speed.
Tend to get my values from an outside source.
I'm glad to do some stupid stuff today. Omega Star, thank you for the $5 super chat.
church to praise all love. Sitting, coming for someone else. It didn't stew well with me, but I said it was a lover's deed. Didn't trust my own feels. Left someone else behind my wheel. Said it was love driving me, but the only one who should steer is me. 'Cause what they
I would put on captions, but they are unavailable for this song.
saw. See me in a red dress, been on the death fast, thinking of love as they charge in the stars. What are you doing here? See me in a red dress, I've been on the death fast, thinking of love as I charge in the stars. What am I doing here?
Did she say don't trust my ovaries? Maybe? There's a non-0% chance.
I saw love, precious and fine, that I should do anything for time. Time to change the hearts and minds of people not like me and break or stride. It shouldn't be me trying to change. That'd be something if I remained. It just ain't me singing a sin, watching exclusion getting its wins. 'Cause what they saw, they see me in a red dress, I've been on the death fast, thinking I'm lost as the judge in the skies. What are you doing here? They see me in a red dress, I've been on the death fast, thinking I'm lost as the judge in the skies. What am I doing here? Letting someone else steal. Came to church to praise love, come on for someone else, but all the eyes judging in skies, they don't see me, just the lies.
I keep hearing her say Yu-Gi-Oh! I just pretend she's speaking in another language that I don't understand. Makes it a lot better. I do not support women after this. We did it. We did it! And now, back to this old man.
Work them through. I'm not
Somehow
at all questioning, but
less
the Bible,
cringeworthy
specifically the
person?
first 5 books, which is why I'm writing a 5-volume commentary on the first
Somehow
5
more
books called the
cringy
Rational Bible,
than Sarah Brand. There we go.
are a huge source. So I'm going to give you something to think about, even if you're an atheist. There are 2 beings that the first 5 books of the Bible tell us to fear. Can any of you guess?
God.
Fear God. So yes, all right, God. I had a feeling that one or more of you would guess that. We're supposed to fear God, which I will talk about in a moment. How about the other one? That this is what will come as a surprise. Your parents. Isn't that interesting? So everybody knows that
He says it with so much delight in his face. You know, like, he's just like, you know, the Bible tells you to fear your parents. And he says it with the cadence of someone who's about to tell you that, you know, it's totally acceptable and biblically correct for you to beat your children. You know, like, that's where he's going with this, right?
the 10 Commandments has a law, honor your father and mother. But there's another law from the same book, actually in Exodus, and it says literally, I'm translating from the Hebrew, a man shall fear his mother and father. By the way, the mother comes first with the fear, the father comes first with the honor. It's a real egalitarian perspective on parents. The father is not more valuable, the mother is not more valuable. So I want to talk to you about that. First of all, why fear God? That I could spend a tremendous amount of time on. Let me briefly say this.
Why? Wait, I feel like you don't need to spend a ton of time on why one should fear an omnipotent deity who can, like, literally just will you out of existence.
It works. If you really believe that you have to answer to a judging God for how you behave, you will behave better. They actually did
Again, like, I feel like this is just a further extension of Dennis when he's like, Dennis when he's like, about to justify something really awful, you know, like, oh yeah, if I didn't fear God, I'd just be raping women all the time. You know, like that's like the kind of territory Dennis unintentionally veers into all the time.
They meaning some professors, and I don't think they were religious people. They did a survey and found that people were more ethical where they believed in a hell than people were in where they only believed in a heaven. If you think you'll get punished, you'll act better.
Wait.
They meaning some professors, and I don't think they were religious people. They did a survey and found that people were more ethical where they believed in a hell than people were in where they only believed in a heaven. If you think you'll get punished, you'll act better.
See, this is not the conclusion to jump to. Because a survey question is not acting in the real world. Okay? A survey question is like a bubble sheet. It's like a bubble test. You're not establishing that people actually act out their supposed improved ethics.
People want to deny that, but I have a perfect...
Also, yeah, I'm pretty sure most mainstream Judaism doesn't believe in hell. Maybe if BBBBB is here, they can confirm or deny. I don't know.
Perfectly non-religious proof. When people know that there's no policeman, no highway patrolman on the highway, they go faster. That's it. If I can't get punished, then I'll drive the way I want to drive. That's human nature. That's the reason for punishment, aside from revenge.
BBBBB is here in Twitch chat. It's likely more complicated than I made it seem. Oh my god, my body! Why are you betraying me like this? It's probably because of all the songs I've played for you guys. It's rejecting life itself. How many subs to watch a PragerU YouTube poop instead? 5. I'll do that for 5. Punish me, Daddy Dade. Daddy Dade. There we go. Finished. It's those high energy bops, right? I regret hearing that at work. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I used to do a lot more daddies, and I'm not too proud to admit that one of the channel redeeming options on my Twitch chat was reenacting a scene from When Harry Met Sally. You used to do daddies? Oh, I still do daddies. Daddy. What's the happiest moment in Dennis's life? Is it when he got to beat his first child? Also have an audio clip of Oh Salmon Moose. Ooh la la. I'm suffering a little hearing that a few meters from my dad. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I understand, GamerG. Okay, so BBBBB writes, so there generally isn't a firm view of the afterlife because it's not seen as a particularly important compared to the actual life. There are some people who believe in a purification period where you're cleansed of your wrongdoings over the course of up to a year before moving on to whatever's next. This is why Jews often put a gravestone on a grave after 11 months, implying that it didn't take the full year to get all cleaned up. Some believe in a form of reincarnation. Interesting. There are other versions, but I don't know of an eternal suffering theory along the lines of what Christians believe. Yeah, honestly, I could never really square the idea of like eternal suffering in Christian religion, even when I was like like teaching it. Hey, Czarina Chess. There we go. All right, here we go.
Revenge, which people don't like the word. Fine, I can deal with that. We should another time. The case for punishment. But even putting that aside, it is so that people understand you can't do this. Look, do you think, you watching me now or listening to me now, do you think there would be more or less crime if the punishment for any crime was a $50 fine? Okay, obviously the amount of punishment has a determinative impact on whether or not people will commit a given infraction.
Well, well, okay, Dennis. Let's run that through our brain machines one more time. Do you think there would be more or less crime if every crime was punished with the death penalty? Like, would there be more crime or less crime if people thought that like they could just be murdered indiscriminately for like going 1 mile an hour over the speed limit, Dennis? There would be more crime because effectively, like, if you can be killed for literally anything, you would go and commit those crimes. You would just commit whatever crime you'd like, because it doesn't matter if you do a murder or if you go faster than the speed limit. Either way, the police are probably going to kill you. So, wow, it's almost like if you reduce it down to an extreme without any kind of moderating factor, it doesn't actually work at all. You've broken the system of law.
Or crime. There is a story, again from the book of Exodus, and the Pharaoh, the Egyptian ruler, ruled that all Jewish male babies be drowned in the Nile for a period of time. This took place, and he told 2 midwives who delivered Hebrew women's babies about this law. I believe the midwives were Egyptian. Others believe that they were Hebrews. It doesn't really matter. And it says the midwives feared God and did not follow what Pharaoh ordered. Now remember, Pharaoh was not just the king of Egypt, which is strong enough. Pharaoh was a demigod. Pharaoh was half God and half man.
What?
I mean, to disobey Pharaoh, it's...
I'm pretty sure that wasn't actually the case. Like, I feel like Dennis is portraying it here like, yes, remember, you must all remember that that the Pharaoh is actually the god. Like, wait, is Dennis saying like Egyptian mythology is real?
We can't imagine it in our time. There's no figure comparable. But it says why they disobeyed him. They feared God. The road to not fearing people is to fear God. It is very hard not to fear people if you don't fear God. It's a very...
I think you can fear people just fine without attributing a deity to the mix. How does anyone take this guy seriously? I have no idea. I have no idea. Like, this is being put into schools across the United States as part of actual curriculum. It's insane.
Very big deal. Fear of God. I know we live in an age that thinks that God is a silly notion. We're paying the price because we're living in an age of utter moral chaos, intellectual chaos, emotional chaos, and it is entirely related to that issue. So fear of God is a huge moral issue. You fear God. You believe that you will be judged for how you behave. You will probably act better. Now to parents. So I think I may have mentioned this on a fireside chat, but I don't expect people to remember 329 fireside chats. On my radio show, which has been a massive educational experience for me, talking about 40 years of talk radio. I have no doubt I've talked with, not to, but with more people than any living person.
It's a lot of preempting.
Which has given me a tremendous insight into humans. So I asked one day, if you didn't take drugs in high school, why didn't you? I had no idea what the answer would be, no idea. Almost everyone who called gave me not only the same reason, but the same words. My mother would have killed me. They feared their mother. And by the way, that is interesting because it says fear your mother and your father. The order is mother first in that verse. Yes, you have to fear your parents. We think of, oh, the most important thing is to love your parents. It's a wonderful thing.
I don't think that this is showing what you think it's showing, Dennis.
To love your parents, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is to honor your parents, and it's very important to fear your parents. Not be scared of them, not...
Wait, oh, yeah, you need to fear your parents, not be scared of them. No, what you're... Fear and being afraid and are synonyms for being scared.
Wake when they're around, but to have a healthy fear. We don't have healthy fears now. We have unhealthy fears. I'll give you an example of another fear we should have.
How, Dennis, I want you to elaborate on how one should properly inspire fear in their children.
That is at this moment, if somebody watches this fireside chat 10 years from now, I hope.
Yeah, basically, just to be very clear here, listening to his advice here, and you know, it's very convenient for him. He doesn't give any specifics. But if you listen to his advice and you were like, oh, fear is a very important component of being a parent, like that's like a direct route to like Dennis enabling the abuse of children. Like, am I off here? Is there any other any other way to interpret his words here? God. I need to use the bathroom. Also, we've been going for about 3 hours. Consider hitting the follow button on Twitch, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, like the YouTube stream on YouTube, and I will be back in several minutes, and we'll finish this up, okay? I just need to use the bathroom real bad, and I'll leave you with some tunes. Hello. How we doing? Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hello, Koopa Shell. Oh, interesting. Dennis is the verse Dennis is talking about in Hebrew uses a verb that can mean fear but can also mean respect. Stand in awe, honor, revere. Interesting. The other verse he referenced could be translated as be weighed down by your father and mother if your agenda favors that. It's likely that both verses just mean honor your parents, but since the Torah is literally a piece of long-form poetry, they switched up their word choices. Yeah. That checks out. Yeah, it usually does come down to translation, doesn't it? Dennis is lying. I mean, I don't know if he's lying so much as deliberately being obtuse. But massaging the truth, definitely. Back into the trenches. Oh, God. You know, I gotta be completely honest, chat. I don't know if I'm up for politicking much more today. I might switch over to video games soon, because this is a lot. Why do you hate us? I don't hate you. Politics do, though. The politics dislike you. They dislike all of us. They seek our complete and utter destruction. What game? Honestly, I was thinking of doing like a game called Thronefall. Something a little bit mindless, maybe. Yeah, you know what? Let's switch over. Let's do some Gordos. Would you guys mind if I played like a video game on like the little small screen? And we watched some Gordos? We'll have to switch from YouTube over to Twitch, of course. But we got a lot of Gordos to get through. What's a Gordo? Episodes of Hell's Kitchen that are distributed by Hell's Kitchen on YouTube. But YouTube is not a fan if you try to stream React content. Am I voting for Biden in November? Yep. Gonna be trying to convince other people to do it too. Sweet, yummy Gordos. I am sick, boiled peanuts. I've been sick for like the last month. It sucked. Do I need to go to bed? Honestly, I don't think so. If I tried to go to bed right now, I'd probably just wind up being awake for like another 3 hours. Even with Gaza? Yeah, I mean, like, even if I grant that, like, Trump and Biden would be completely interchangeable on the issue of genocide in Gaza, which I don't think they would be. I think Trump would be worse. I still don't see how delivering like a fascist the White House makes anything better for anybody. I'm not voting for genocide. Okay. I hope you're taking any and all action otherwise to keep a fascist out of the White House, though. What you gonna do to prevent the rise of fascism in the U.S.? Very knifey duck. Thank you for the $5 dono. That's kind. Cornell West? And that will do exactly what? Exactly. Like what is the end result of your action, right? Like what is the outcome? Not voting for someone perpetuating genocide? I didn't ask you if you were going to vote. I asked you what the outcome of voting for Cornell West would be. And I asked you, what are you doing otherwise to prevent the rise of fascism in the United States? Do you have a hearing impairment? If not, just answer my goddamn question, guy. It's my chat. It's my show. Picking the person I want to be president? Yeah, but we live in a two-party duopoly. So what are you actually doing? Like, what's the actual effect of your action? Vote for someone perpetuating genocide, then? If you're voting for a spoiler candidate whose effect will be putting a fascist into office, you need to reckon with the moral weight of that decision, friend. That's all I'm saying. I've reckoned with the moral weight of my decision. I'm just asking you to do the same, as opposed to, like, being fucking weird. Like, you came into the chat and you picked a fight with me on purpose. Why? What are you doing to stop the rise of fascism in the United States? Can you answer my question? For the love of shit? Please? Like, every day now we're getting people like you who can't just answer a goddamn question. I'm so tired. Well, I know that we have two candidates up for voting, up for possibilities in the upcoming election, in this two-party duopoly we live in. Voting for the non-fascist Cornell West. Okay, but we live in a two-party duopoly, so what does that mean? Have you taken that into account? Can I walk you through this? Have you taken into account the two-party duopolistic system we live in? We obviously don't. I don't think you know what a two-party duopoly is, my friend. A two-party duopoly doesn't mean there are only two candidates. It means there are only two viable candidates. I can vote for Vermin Supreme. He's not going to become president. No, there are plenty of ballots with more than two candidates. There are plenty of ballots where you can write in candidates. So I'm going to explain to you exactly how our current system works, all right? We have this system when we vote called first past the post voting. Mathematically, what this means is, over time, power consolidates into two viable pathways to the presidency. And currently, those are called the Democrats and the Republicans. Occasionally, this system has broken down in the past, usually when those power, like those centralized power centers fracture for whatever reason. Currently, we still have the two-party duopoly. They haven't fractured. And effectively, there are only going to be one or the other outcome. It's either going to be Biden or Trump. You can vote for anyone else, of course, but realistically, there are only two outcomes here. Now, you can rage against the fact that the two-party duopoly exists, and I 100% support you doing so, because I think if we organized ourselves, you know, over the course of years, we could break the two-party duopoly by winning on a state-by-state basis ranked choice voting, which is a different way of voting that would create a multi-party system in America. However, we don't have that. So until we have that, we're stuck with a two-party duopolistic system. When it comes to the presidency, that basically all but eliminates the ability to get someone who's not in one of the two major parties into office. You might be able to do it on a local level, for sure. But when it comes to state level, that's much, much harder. When it comes to national level, it's almost impossible. And when it comes to the presidency, no. So, you have two options for the presidency. One is Joe Biden, someone who is complicit with the genocide. You have Donald Trump, someone who is also complicit with the genocide. And given his history of supporting Israel in its violence on Palestinians, would likely pour more gasoline on that conflict. So, even if you grant that they would both be equally bad, even if you say, okay, well, Trump might be bad, but like he's no different, there's no difference here, well, then you also have to reckon with the fact that you're putting an out-and-out fascist in charge of the largest, most powerful military on Earth. Do you think that's going to help Palestinians? Do you think that's going to help anyone on the planet? No, it's not. Imagine living in Germany in like the 1920s and you're like, you know what? What if we could elect Hitler into office, but give him an army and a military capable of launching global nuclear war? I guess I'll enable that guy being in power. Like that's essentially the argument here that you're making. Through your inaction and through your complicity, you would allow a fascist to essentially gain control of the largest thermonuclear stockpile on Earth, supreme authority over the United States Armed Forces, etc. A guy who has talked openly about suspending the Constitution, about militarizing the police to be used against civilians in conjunction with the military. Someone who has talked about removing political opponents from power and prosecuting them. Again, this is what complicity gets you. You know? So, like, not only does it fuck over Palestinians in Gaza, even more, but it also sells all of our civil rights. Maybe that doesn't bother you. Bothers me. But the additional factor here is just like the weird level of like denialism people like you have about this. Like I'm not gonna like go door to door and argue that people vote for Biden with people who are like adamantly against it. That's just not like how you do like canvassing, really. But you came into my chat specifically to pick this fight, so I will engage with you about it. I think that you're being selfish about it. I think you're being narrow-minded about it, and frankly, I think there's too much at stake to allow you to have that luxury uncontested when you come in specifically to pick a fight about it. Not fighting, I asked a question. I'm not reading your chats. I know you, because I've known 1,000 people making your same bad argument. What led to Hitler's rise to power was infighting on the left and an inability to come together against him for to get an inferior like milquetoast lib in charge who could be challenged later. That directly led to the fracturing of the Weimar Republic's leftist movement and plunged the country into fascism, which then directly led to countless millions of people dying. And I think the United States has the capacity to kill or potentially kill billions, not just millions, So, like, I think that there's actually quite a bit at stake here. You're not speaking truth to power. You're allowing a fascist to take the reins of the most powerful military on earth. If that's speaking truth to power, I think you're very wrong-headed about it. You know, like, to me, it's not. I guess, like, have fun with your principles as you're marched to the wall. Like, what? Like, I'm sure there are many principled people who die while being complicit with the rise of fascism. I don't think that that's a good. I don't think that's a good thing. I can't imagine voting for someone who perpetuates genocide. I can't imagine voting for someone who wants to do a genocide in America and the Gaza Strip and anywhere else where he doesn't like people. Like, your complicity could literally lead to people dying. And I think that that's really sad, that you haven't really had any introspection on that point. Urging people to vote with Gaza in mind is leading to people dying. I really disagree. I think if you think Donald Trump is going to be better for the people in Gaza, I think you're wrong. I think a fascist dictator is not going to be better for the people of Gaza. I'm not voting for Donald Trump. You're voting for the spoiler candidate that helps Donald Trump get elected. You need to reckon with the ramifications of your action or proposed action. Like, to me, this is like saying, I don't know. I only like threw a rock off a bridge, and then, like, yeah, but by throwing the rock off a bridge, you like smashed someone's windshield, and then they careened into the highway and like got like 12 people killed in the pileup. Like, that to me, you're not engaging with the ramifications of your action. No, he's a spoiler candidate. That this is a political term for third-party candidates who take away from the potential victory of one side or another. RFK Jr. would be considered a Republican spoiler candidate. It's not a judgment on the candidate themselves. It's just acknowledging they don't have the institutional support to actually win, but they might have enough institutional support to harm or deny a fellow left-leaning candidate the ability to win, or fellow right-leaning candidate the ability to win. It's not a moral judgment on the position, it's just an analysis of the position. Yeah, Biden is pretty right-wing. I agree. He's a milquetoast neolib. That's pretty right-wing. But of the two actual candidates who will wind up holding the office when the dust settles, it's either Biden or someone who is an outright fascist. Every election, you're just doing triage. It's sad that he's your choice. I agree. I would love there to be another viable choice, but there's not. I would love to have $1 million, but I don't have that. It would be very nice if things were better than they currently are, but they're not. This is like sitting in like a Civil War era hospital and being like, man, it'd be nice if we had medication. But you don't have that, so you gotta go ahead, tie off the wound with like a scrap of t-shirt or officer uniform. You gotta staunch the bleeding, and then you gotta cut off that arm. Like, it's shit, but it's triage. That's every election. If you are unsatisfied with that, then you have to roll up your sleeves and actually do organizing between elections to get better options. If you're not, then you're just passively kind of accepting whatever's shoved down your throat. I agree with you, Sam Olson. A lot of it is Biden's fault. Unfortunately, that's the option we got. And I'll be damned before I let a fascist into office, if I can help it. And on a personal note, man, I don't think I'd want to be complicit with putting someone into office who has pledged to eliminate entire groups of minority groups from the United States. Is Biden not a fascist? No, he's a neoliberal. He's someone who fell for like the Clintonite like shit dream of like combining capitalism with like neoliberal foreign policy. It's like a bastardization of like Reaganism with liberalism. But he's not a fascist. He's a milquetoast moderate. But he's the best we got. So a non-fascist perpetuating genocide is better than a fascist who didn't perpetuate genocide? Wait, Billy Bones, are you saying that if Trump was in office right now, he wouldn't be condoning the genocide in Israel or in the Gaza Strip? You're saying that the guy who moved the Israel's capital to Jerusalem and has a fucking neighborhood named after him in the Golan Heights wouldn't be making things worse for people in Gaza? Didn't the left learn from the mistake? Billy Bones, you realize that Shadamar's comment is oriented towards you, right? Jesus Christ. This entire thing, just as an FYI, guys, we're gonna be having these debates from now until November. It's gonna be happening nonstop. I apologize in advance, but like, it's a conversation we need to have. Billy Bones, you realize Shadamar was talking about you being the leftist who hasn't learned anything from the 1930s Germany fascist coup. We really appreciate your patience. I'm trying my best. It just makes me sad. It makes me sad that given two viable options, people are like, well, what if I imagined a third better thing that isn't a thing that will exist, but could hypothetically exist? And it's just like, well, that's not really a real option. And then they insist that it actually is a real option. And that even if it isn't the real option, it's still better because they'll feel better about it personally. In an election, you choose who your enemy is going to be. If you're on the left side of politics, you choose who your enemy is going to be. Would you rather your enemy be a fascist using the power of the state literally to kill you if you dissent against it, or a weak milquetoast neoliberal old man like Joe Biden, who we can literally go to like his speeches and yell ceasefire now, and it rattles him for weeks on end, like, and clearly like is spurring some amount of change in his policy? by voting against Trump. You're not voting against Trump if you're voting for the spoiler candidate that takes votes that is designed to take votes away from his opponent. Like you're like the people in the comment section on like a video that I did on RFK Jr. being like, well, me and my family are gonna vote for RFK Jr. because we like him better than Trump. The revolution's coming, yeehaw! It's just like, well, okay, go for it. I love that. I love seeing Republicans vote for RFK Jr. because it means that Trump has less of a chance to win. That's great. You're doing the same thing. It's just the opposite. You're increasing Trump's chances of winning by pulling votes away from Biden. This is how the two-party duopoly functions with third-party spoiler candidates. No one on the left is allowed to run if a more popular neoliberal is running. That's really unhelpful. That's not what I said. But you need to be able to run in a way where you're going to have a shot at winning. Like, you can imagine a candidate with perfect politics, right? That only 10 people know about. Would that be a better person to vote for? He's never going to win the election. But, like, it seems here that you're just prioritizing feeling good about your vote over, like, the actual effect of the vote. And I object to that because I care about the actual effect actions have on society. Again, we're socialists. We don't love the Democratic Party, bub. We just are able to understand the cold calculus that goes into politics and political maneuvering, which you would understand if you actually bothered to get involved in it beyond the superficial, like, presidential elections. Again, the people in my community roll their sleeves up and get involved in politics more than just once every 4 years. I would recommend that you do the same. Especially if you're someone who cares about breaking the two-party duopoly, we need more people who actually give a shit about that. Because too often, the people who say that they care about breaking the two-party duopoly so that you could vote for someone like Cornel West only say that every 4 years to complain about voting for someone they don't like. And in the meantime, they don't do shit about shit to try and fix the voting system that prevents the viability of third-party candidates. No, you break the two-party duopoly by organizing on a local state level. That's how you do it. A number of states have already gotten ranked choice voting, but the vast majority of states don't have ranked choice voting. If more people actually gave a shit about organizing for third parties and for third-party viability, for breaking the two-party duopoly, we could do it. But you don't break the two-party duopoly by voting for a third-party candidate when the math literally does not allow them to win. Some of us do. No, you don't. You guys crawl out of the woodwork like every 4 years to complain about the fact that you have to do a triage vote. Because that's the only thing you can do in a two-party duopoly. You just complain. Oh, man. You know, this guy just got shot on the battlefield. You know, instead of treating his bleeding, gushing wound, I'm gonna sit here and wish that I had antibiotics. I'm just gonna sit here and wish that I had better surgical tools. That's you right now. That's you right now. And you're responsible for the ramifications of your actions, Billy Bones. You're responsible for your inaction. You're responsible for your complicity with the rise of fascism. You need to take responsibility for those things. We're all complicit in America with American, like, foreign policy, whether we voted for whoever's in charge or not. That's something you need to deal with. Because that sounds like a personal problem that you absolutely haven't dealt with. Do you pay taxes? Well, damn, you're complicit. Sorry. Doesn't matter who you voted for. You're complicit to some degree in the crimes of America. We need to vote for right-wing Democrats perpetuating genocide because they're more popular. No, you need to vote for right-wing Democrats perpetuating genocide because the alternative is a fascist who will perpetuate genocide and do more genocides while also preventing us from actually being able to do another election for a better candidate in 2028. Well then, I guess have a fun time with your moral superiority while walking to the wall. like, my God. There were a lot of people who felt morally superior in their choices that wound up in the death camps in Nazi Germany. Like, I don't know how to really spell this out for you, but I don't think you take this seriously. I don't think you take the threat of fascism seriously. They're literally making plans to destroy our bureaucracy, install yes men who will make Trump a dictator, and you're like, well, that would be better than one man in a democratic society perpetuating a genocide. It's like, I don't think you understand the ramifications. Biden is half a fascist? Sure. Okay. That's still better than a full fascist. Like, you realize that you're trying to get me to you're basically trying to argue with me right now that, like, I should be fine with people being complicit in electing politicians whose stated goal is killing people like me, right? Like, you get that, right? If that means the wall, I'll die happy. You fucking loser. You fucking loser. My God. Oh, I don't care about winning. I care about being right. You fucking loser. I care about winning and living and making things better. You're just like, oh, well, you know, I don't care if I die. At least I'll be right. That's loser talk. You are a fucking loser. I believe in winning. My politics are the politics of winning, of making things better, and fighting and clawing every single day to try and make things a little bit less shitty. And you're over here being like, well, if I can't eat chocolate cake every day, if I can't have my antibiotics on the battlefield, well, you know what? I'm just gonna let these people bleed out. I can't imagine a more cucked attitude towards life. Oh, well, I'll just let these people die because I can't have my way. Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah, you know what'll help the people in Gaza? If we kill people in the United States, that'll help. That'll really help. It'll help the people of Gaza so much to have a fascist in power in the United States. Useless garbage. Useless piece of baggage. I mean, like, Airbnb, like, even if you wanted to make that calculus, I think the amount of damage a fascist United States could do is incalculable, you know? Like, kid probably won't vote anyway. Yeah, honestly, probably not. Yeah, I don't have time for people who unironically make the argument that like it's okay to be complicit with the rise of fascism in the United States, who simultaneously make the argument that like one of if not the greatest evil on the face of the earth is American imperialism, and you think that that is going to be improved by it being helmed by an out and out fascist who wants to use the military as police against like protesters? You think the United States is going to be improved internally or externally by that? You think it being run by a guy who wants to suspend the Constitution, who wants to like be a dictator, but only for a day, who has like openly talked about how great it would be to nuke Iran or to like secretly nuke North Korea and then try and blame it sneakily on another country. Like, I'm sorry, your attitude is evil. If you are complicit with the rise of fascism in the United States, and you know anything about U.S. history, do you think like the United States would have been better if like an out and out fascist had been like in charge of the Trail of Tears, for example? No, it wouldn't have been. The idea being put forward here is insane. Fortnite, let me phrase it in another way. Do you think like the genocide of Native Americans would have been more or less genocidal if Hitler had overseen it? I personally think it would have been more, but you know. Yeah, also fuck Andrew Jackson. Piece of shit. Well, and Ken Merrick, the thing about that guy was that they didn't believe that Cornell West had a chance. They just wanted to feel better about their choice. They literally said they'd rather feel better about their choice than be alive. Like that's actually insane. Airbnb abortion, I know you're agreeing with me. It's all good. I'm just deeply irritated by that previous chatter. Because I know we're also going to be having people like that come into chat more and more often as we get closer to the election. Can't fix stupid. True. You're about to go have fun? That's right, I was about to go have fun. What fucks with me is that these people emerged out of the woodwork so damn suddenly, acting like they're the moral authorities on all of this. I'm over here in constant anxiety because I haven't gotten the "we're still alive" email from my friend in weeks. Her family has eaten bread and salt at my fucking dinner table, and I don't know if they're alive or still in Rafa or what, but no, I'm bad and complicit because I'm not voting for Cornell West. Yeah. Yeah, it comes from like a place of narcissism and arrogance, and I don't understand it, and I hate it. And the thing is, I understand. I fucking hate Joe Biden. He's the worst. But he's also better than a fascist. And unfortunately, the hateful, onerous task that we have before us is getting him into office. We have to push the boulder up the hill. Or be crushed by it. Those are our options. Why argue with these people and harm your mental health? Because honestly, more people need to see the argument be made. Honestly, more people need to be walked through the argument. Because I think that there are a lot of people who just haven't really reckoned with the ramifications of our political system. It's not about convincing that chatter that I'm right and that they were wrong, because you're never going to be able to do that. It's about essentially communicating to others who will come along, to you folks and to people who might come across the segment. And it's the most irritating but most important conversation we can have with fellow left-leaning folks in the lead up to the election. Maybe we're lucky and they both die of natural causes before the election is over. Oh man, that would be pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. Hypervisor, thank you for subscribing over on Twitch. I appreciate it. Alright, I'm gonna play a video game. Also, we've been going for almost 4 hours now, chat. If you've been enjoying the stream, please hit the follow button on Twitch, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, like the YouTube stream, and, yeah. I bet they paid actors, and I bet Cornel West...
I bet they are paid actors, and I bet Corona West is getting money from somewhere.
You know, Olympians, that's probably a decent guess. It does take a lot of money to run a presidential campaign, but his candidacy really did seem to come out of nowhere. Only just got here, but I'm gonna hit it anyway because I rule. Well, Pharaoh Funk, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. The point of a lot of online debate is not to win because the other person is often so far gone that they're never going to be redeemed, but rather to show that there is an argument and that the people who support you can take that and understand the nuance, rationale behind their own positions, and enter things like trans rights. I think it's critical to remind them they're not alone. Exactly, yeah. These types of convos are immensely helpful, have immensely helped me understand. I'm sure it must be exhausting. You already know all the stuff and things, but thank you. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's been helped by that. Yeah, I think that, like, there's value in showing people that there are answers to those questions or even those positions, you know? Are we still doing Gordos? We are still gonna do Gordos. So, folks, if you're over on YouTube, make sure you come on over to riverboat.gg. Just type that into your web browser, or consider coming over to twitch.tv/riverboatjack. We'll be chilling, playing some video games, and watching episodes of Hell's Kitchen from the Hell's Kitchen YouTube channel. I do like Cornel West. He's been thrown out running for president in the past, but he never had a solid plan. I heard no one but Biden, though. Wait. I hear no one, but Biden, though, I'm against so much that he does. Yeah, I feel that. You ever gonna cook on stream? I need to figure out a way to set up a camera to do that. Well, I would have loved to see Cornel West run an actual campaign, you know? One of my main criticisms of Cornel West is that he's launched his campaign like 5 times with 5 different parties. And he keeps having like fallouts with each one. And that's very weird. Why didn't he run in the Dem primary? Excellent question. Why didn't he? Why did he choose 5 different parties? He went with that fascist People's Party? Yeah. What game? Probably gonna do a game called Thronefall that I've been enjoying off stream. Yeah, it was sad. I'd agree with that. Also, again, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop some subs or donos. We're going over to Gordo. And I will say, we will still be taking Hell's Kitchen subscriptions. Hell's Kitchen. What the hell am I trying to say? We will be taking any donos or subs that are donated during our Gordos will go towards episodes of Hell's Kitchen. There we go. My God. That was so hard to say. It's fucking raw. All right. You're over on YouTube. Good night. Good luck. Have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, if you're over here on riverboat.gg or on Twitch, hang tight. We'll be back. Check out the doc. I absolutely will. Got it open on a tab here. Bye, YouTube.